Now calling upon the second speaker from St. Joseph's College, the host team, Prakhar Pathak. Yes? The name of the interjector, your name? Jayesh Jaiswal. All right, just for the convenience of the judges, may I request the interjectors when they go up to the podium, before you ask your question, please say out your name aloud. Okay? Jayesh Jaiswal was the name of the person who interjected. And young lady, your name? Shatakshi Sonkar. And the name of the school as well, from where you are. Okay. Prakhar, you can start your speech. Your time starts now.
Friends, India, our country, it is a dwelling place of I, ideal, N, nationalistic, D, diligent, I, intelligent, and A, above all, adorable. Friends, today education is spreading as never before, and it should be accelerated by innovation-driven technology. In other words, the Digital India push is necessary. A very pleasant morning. Well, the topic before the August House today is entirely, highly, and completely misleading, because it directly aims to the government's Digital India push, which I vehemently oppose. Today, digitization is necessary because it will change and reform our complete education system. What my opinion is that education and digitization, they should go hand in hand. Well, a perfect and optimum example of smart classes. Don't we have smart classes in our schools? And don't they give impetus to our students to better understand and better learn some difficult things? 60% of the schools, a survey has proved that 60% of the top-notch schools in our country have shown that students are performing better by the introduction of smart classes. Talking about Apple Kindle, the state-of-the-art technology, it saves paper. We can stop reading storybooks and we can start reading e-books. Doesn't it save natural resources? Apart from that, annually we have our annual budget, and this year the Finance Minister Shri Arun Jaitley announced that this annual year we'll have 20% rise in the education sector. We don't have to worry about education. NASA's scientists, half of the NASA scientists are either Indians or of Indian origins. We are already the intellectual leaders of the world. The only sector we lack is of Digital India. Reflecting historically, friends, since the last 69 years, we have got the tag of an underdeveloped nation, which we should remove. And the dissemination of knowledge is not only done through books. It should be done through state-of-the-art technology and innovation-driven technology. If we reflect geographically, 70% of our nation is village-based. Teachers and books cannot reach there, but surely internet and Wi-Fi and video conferencing can enhance the students there to perform better. In the end, I would like to say that today our nation is led by very able administrators, and they are working for the people, with the people, and reaching out to the people. This is the essence of democracy. So, digitization and education should go hand in hand. With this, I rest my case.
All right, that was Prakhar Pathak speaking against the motion from the host institution, the St. Joseph's College, Allahabad. Now, who's to question him? Tanya Tripathi from SJC Rihandnagar. Judges, the first interjector is Tanya Tripathi from SJC Rihandnagar. Yes, your question.
My question is, what will we do of a country where people either can't afford those digital devices or cannot access it properly because they don't know the proper use?
See, today in India, investments are pouring out from foreign countries. So we don't need to worry about money. Money isn't a factor. Only we need to implement the innovative schemes so that those facilities reach the villagers.
All right, thank you. Any other question? Are there any other questions for Prakhar? Right, so that is it. Thank you so much, Prakhar. That was St. Joseph's College. Now the next team that I'm going to call upon is SMSM. What's that supposed to be? SMSM? SMS Mirzapur. Okay. St. Mary's Mirzapur. Okay. And we've got Shruti Jain speaking for the motion. Judges, this is Shruti Jain speaking for the motion. And Shruti, your time starts now.
Good morning, respected judges, audience, and my worthy opponents. Today, I'm going to speak for the motion. Education is spending half of our life in learning how to spend the remaining half of it. We have inculcated ourselves so much into modern techniques and culture that we have forgotten to understand the real roots and essence of education. Gaining education through the real roots is not just sitting under a tree with a light lamp and studying in the dark. It's about understanding and observing the things happening around us. Education system in India has started improving by digitizing it. I don't think it is that necessary to digitize the education system in India, because if we go back to the history, the extravagant Indian leaders like C.V. Raman, Vivekanand and all have invented so many things without the digitization of the Indian education system. But today, in this century, even after the digitization, we aren't able to match up to that level. So do you think is it so necessary to digitize the education system of India? I don't think so. At last, I would like to conclude by saying, if Newton wouldn't have sat under the tree, wouldn't have seen the apple falling, wouldn't have thought about it later, I don't think he would have, if he ever fell off, he could have replied to his mom asking what happened by saying that, nothing mom, just testing gravity. Thank you.
Thank you. That was Shruti Jain speaking for the motion. Now, are there any questions for Shruti? Go on. Please give your name at the podium and the name of your school. And please, before you ask that question, please may I request the organizers over here, I believe there's some sports practice going on and there's a lot of music blaring from downstairs. It is disturbing the participants over here. So could something be done about it, please? Right. Please go on with the question.
A very good morning. My name is Harsh Arora, and my question to you is, digitization is the way today. Digitization is what we need. We can't keep sitting under
Your question, we are not interested in what
we
you
can't
think.
keep sitting under a tree. We need digitization. What would you say to that now?
Sorry, I don't know.
Sorry, that is not a question. I disallow that question. Are there any other questions? Yes, please go and ask. Please, those who are going up to question, remember, you will have your chance to speak, but this is what I believe in, can hardly be called a question. If you have a question based upon what the person has said or otherwise, then please ask a question. Otherwise, I'll have to disallow that question. Yes,
Very
Prakhar,
good
your
morning.
question.
My dear friend, you talked about C.V. Raman, but at that time, modern gadgets had not been introduced. If we will not adapt to the change, won't we stay behind and we won't be able to compete with other nations?
All right, his question is simple. If we don't adapt with whatever new is happening, will we not be left behind? Is that your question?
Exactly.
Yes, please answer.
I don't say we should not move on with the modern technologies. I just wanted to tell that we shouldn't be just limited to those digital devices. We shouldn't be dependent on them. We
Right,
should
thank
more
you.
focus on the roots of education.
Thank you. That question stands answered. Any other questions? Right, thank you. Okay, there is one more question and please introduce yourself. Chalo.
My name is Ayushi Tripathi and I want to ask you,
Which school are you from? Kindly give the name of your
St.
school.
Joseph School, Rihan Nagar.
Wonderful.
I want to ask you, how can we compete in today's world without the digital devices?
My friend, as I just said, I don't say just stop using those devices or stop using digital technologies. I say focus more on the roots of education than by gaining knowledge by using digital devices.
Thank you. Thank you, Shruti. Now, shall I call upon Pratiksha Pandey? No, sorry. Is there a problem with the name over here? We've got Pratiksha Pandey. This name is over here. Instead of that, Jayesh Jaiswal. SMC Mirzapur. I think, no, this other name is wrong. Alright, instead of Pratiksha Pandey, we've got Jayesh Jaiswal. Judges, please note, on my sheet, the name was given as Pratiksha Pandey. In case your sheet is also similarly placed, then correct the second speaker speaking against the motion from St. Mary's Mirzapur as Jayesh Jaiswal. Jayesh, please.
A very hearty morning to everyone. I am Jayesh Jaiswal from St. Mary's Mirzapur. Digitalization in India. I would literally call an illiterate person, a person illiterate if he does not know about digitalization. Yes, because if you are not able to know about digitalization, you are not able to stand in this world. If I ask you what is the time, you would definitely say 10:30. Why? Because you yourself know, because that you are entrapped in the digitalization world. You will say 30 past 10 if you are a traditional and orthodox person, but you will say 10:30 if you are a modern and a technological person. What about e-books? Aren't they simple? Would you like to carry heavy and lumpy books in your bags, giving pain to your shoulders, all the way to the school instead of having a simple ebook in your pocket and just having an audio-visual classes? Smart classes are also going on in the school. Aren't they simple? Even the small kids in the school are allowed to take the smart classes because the teachers know that it will help them in a more proper way and make them help understand in a more easier way. Japan, Amsterdam, United States of America, they are developed. Why? And India is not. India is still a developing country. It is all because of digitalization. As the theme of the host college suggests, Semper Sursum, always aim high. So is the theme and the aim of Japan, America and Amsterdam, because they are digitalized. We will not be digitalized, we will not grow up. We will not be digitalized, we will always lag behind in our dreams, in our aims. And what to say, without digitalization, we will always lag behind. I hope all of you would have seen the film Three Idiots. In that, there was a dialogue. By the fear of a hunter, even the lion in the zoo starts singing a song. But we call that lion a well-trained, not well-educated. Mark my words. That is well-trained, not well-educated. That is the traditional and orthodox way. If you are well-educated, you will change the world. Though I wanted to speak more, but I am bound by the time and the judges. So here are my concluding words, that develop India and be digitalized. Thank you.
Thank you. That was Jayesh Jaiswal. All right. I believe there's a person wanting to question you from the girls' high school. Please go on to the podium and ask your question.
A very good morning, my friend. I'm Sagarika Banerjee from Girls High School and College.
Good morning to you too.
Oh, thank you.
Let's have the question. Pleasantry is over. Yes.
My question to you is, don't you think 3D printers using plastic as filament are going to oppose our environmental education?
Why are they going to oppose the environmental education? Plastic is a recyclable material.
No questions.
Plastic is a recyclable material and they are not going to harm the environmental education.
Okay, so that's his answer. Any other questions? Yes, Tanya. Tanya from SJC Rihan Nagar is the next person asking a question.
Do you really think that every school can afford smart classes?
Why not? There is government in every country. The funds are there, investment is there. If you want to develop your country, then you must afford smart classes, and every country can afford smart classes in each state and each city.
Then why not till now?
It is there in every country. It is only because of the school that they are not doing.
All right, that question also stands answered in whatever way he felt like answering it, and it is for the judges to decide whether the question was well answered or not. Thank you.
Thank you.
So that was Jayesh Jaiswal. we've gone almost halfway through the debate, I was in fact debating within myself that whether or not I should say it right here. But I guess there is a need, because the debate is not only meant for the participants and for the judges to judge them and to, at the end of the day, give out prizes first, second and third. There's an audience, and we as audience know we have a right to hear the debate on the topic that has been given. May I just give a hint to the participants? The topic is, we need to make the educational divide our priority and not the digital divide. From all the speakers that have come so far, basically it is appearing to me as if they are treating it as a debate between whether or not we should use digitalization in education, or whether it is a contest between education on the one hand or digitalization on the other. Whereas to my mind, on a plain reading of the topic, it talks about one who are educational haves and on the other hand educational have-nots. And then there are people who are digital haves, and then we have got digital have-nots. Now probably what the debate wanted us to hear about was that whether it is a time for us to worry more about those who have access and means of education, conventional education, and those who don't. Are we to bother more about them, or are we to bother more about those who have got digital means and those who have not? Right now what we've been hearing is basically as if it is a debate between education or conventional education on the one hand and the use of digital devices on the other. So I would expect the remaining participants now to focus on the topic. This is exactly what I have been hinting. On the one hand, you've got the educational haves and the educational have-nots. And on the other hand, you've got the digital haves and the digital have-nots. So kindly concentrate on this part of the topic, because let's not go through the entire debate debating something which is not at all a part of the topic. Thank you. I hope the participants to come will focus on this aspect of the matter. The next team that I shall now call upon is Girls High School. St. Anthony's was there on the list, but they are not over here. So the next team is Girls High School, and I call upon Sagarika Banerjee of the Girls High School to take the podium for the motion. Yes, your time starts now. Please.
There are 3 roads to ruin: women, gambling, digitalization. The most pleasant is with women. The quickest is with gambling, but the surest is with digitalization. A very good morning to the honorable members of the jury and my dear competitors. The topic for today's debate is, we need to make the educational divide our priority and not the digital divide. And I, Sagarika Banerjee from Girls High School and College, stand here to firmly support the motion. The entire objective of true education is to make people not merely do the right thing, but to enjoy the right thing. Not merely learn it, but to cherish knowledge. Not merely pure, but to love purity. Not merely just, but to be hungry and thirsty after justice. And my dear friends, educational divide makes us do all these things. By educational divide, we just don't focus on the reading material. We are allowed to inculcate in ourselves many traits like team spirit, flamboyancy, confidence, and how to do things in an impeccable manner. But by digitalization, there are many distractions. And I suppose none of you can argue with me on this, that you are not distracted because of digitalization. My dear friends, when you see your friends partying and posting photographs on the Facebook, will you be more concerned with the education that you find on the internet? Not at all. The entire youth is after digitalization. From latest gadgets, mobile phones, electronic devices, they know it all. But my dear friends, because of this, they become corpulent and clumsy. My worthy competitors may now argue with me that social life is also a part of education, and they are the most socially advanced people due to technology. But being connected to someone who is staying in abroad and ignoring the person right in front of you is not what we call social life. At the end, I would like to rest my case by saying, education makes people easy to lead, but difficult to drive. Easy to govern, but impossible to enslave. Thank you.
Anyone to question Sagarika Banerjee? Yes. Again, we've got Prakhar Pathak of St. Joseph's College wanting to ask a question of Sagarika. Prakhar, please keep your question succinct and to the point. Allow her enough time to answer.
Well, you said that nobody can argue with that phones are distracting. Yes, phones are distracting, but where there's will, there's a way. It's totally up to you whether you want to focus
Your
on
question,
studies.
Prakhar. I'm still waiting for your question.
So my question is that she said that nobody can argue with her that phones are distracting, and that if we...
Where is your question? Please ask